Hello and welcome back to Esoteric Ebb. We have once again had no update to our session notes because, well, we're still not really doing anything. I mean, we are doing stuff. We're finding out tons of information that's going to be really useful. At some point, the story is going to rapidly, fly forward, but now isn't that time. However, it is now the time to speak to the Sphinx. Alright, Sphinx. Ooh, that's a cool animation. Anyway. Behold. Cool. Hello. A lull falls out of the ancient chamber, just a beat of uncertainty as this cleric steps before the tavern's singular attraction. This happens all the time. Visitors come to gawk and stare, some brave ones to speak with her. The lady of the house, our most delightful host. Look upon her. Towering, you stare at this somewhat feline creature up on the stage. A living myth, currently taking a swig out of a barrel. Clearly not paying you any mind. Anticipalian. Greetings. The Sphinx looks down on you. Meeting her glowing blue gaze makes you feel like you're falling far, far below the world. Her expression turns dark. She scrunches that pretty face of hers. Dark tidings bring you to the hearth, she speaks, low and rolling. You'd expect her to act a bit drunker considering the empty barrels to her side. Then again, who knows how well a Sphinx holds her liquor. A helmed dog dragging its leash around the vestiges of Jor. She extends a claw, thick as your arm, and pokes you in the stomach. Woof. Your scarf opens its mouth and nibbles in the direction of the claw. Ulysses does not seem to mind the mimic. That's rude. Truth often is. She lets out a deep breath. She is bored of you. If you want her attention, you must do something remarkable. She takes another sip from her barrel, not looking at you. Watch yourself, Cleric, he whispers to you. Ulysses isn't one for idle chit-chat. You know the Sphinx? He shakes his head. Every night there's a drunk jackass that asks for a riddle. She usually doesn't hurt them. Oh, riddle, that would be fun. Thank you, Snell. Did you not hear me? Hello? I wish to prove myself worthy, great Sphinx. Worthy, little one. Worthy how? Don't you give out riddles? Certainly. Are you ready? Rhetorical! I'll just wait. She finishes the last bit of her barrel and puts it down with a slam. Then the Sphinx leans in, hissing. Once I had the sun's favor, my creed cling close the wall. Matured in shadows, I've witnessed empires rise and fall. Once left in silence, now the life of the ball. She raises her paw and gestures to the open chamber. Okay. Once I had the sun's favor, my creed cling close to the wall. Matured in shadows, I've witnessed empires rise and fall. Once left in silence, now the life of the ball. We thinking, well, I don't know. Matured in shadows. I don't know. I'm not sure on this one. Like I'm almost thinking like a mushroom, but that doesn't seem like that seems a little too mundane for the type of thing it is. Oh, yet I remain a draft of remembrance, a history's thrall. What am I? Why did she get confused at the end? She's a Sphinx. Help her remember. Easy. A warlord who cannot learn from his mistakes, probably a drunkard. Your companion smirks and gives a little chuckle. He knows. Okay. What do you think, Snell? The Sphinx turns to Snell with a frown. Oh, this seems like a personal riddle. For you, not me. So I'm just gonna watch, alright? She nods. You're a Sphinx. Yes, and the answer to my riddle? Ooh. How many guesses do I get? Hopefully none. But you're allotted one answer. What do I get if I get it right? The Sphinx shrugs and gives you a cold smile. Satisfaction. Is this a trick question sort of deal? No, just a normal riddle. Can I think about this for a bit? No, answer now or never. What happens if I get it wrong? She squints at you and raises her chin. Same as all those who wander these halls. You will lose everything, eventually. Which means your only pain upon failure will be existence itself, a mortal life. Alright, well, I shall simply make a guess. So that'll be a pass then. Your mind settles on a singular possibility for the simple riddle. Matured in shadows. With no doubt in your mind, the answer is... wine. Obviously, it is wine. Obviously. Once in the sun, matured in shadows. Makes perfect sense. Okay, so yeah, it was something growing. Been around for a long time, life of the ball, a draft. It is clearly obviously even, wine. Good, now tell the Sphinx. The answer is wine. Wine. She gives you an intense stare. Time for a fight. She is strong, but you will defeat her handily with the power of a hero. Yeah, wine. Olziz picks up a new barrel of wine. She pops the cork open. Wine, yes, that is very correct, little one. Wonderful job. Another riddle solved. I knew it. I am the greatest. Since you're so amazing, would you be interested in a quest? Yes, yes, yes. She gives you a serious expression. Accepting a divine quest from a sphinx is no trifling matter, mortal. In fact, few would survive such an ordeal. This is a chance to prove yourself to an ancient creature of myth and legend. You'll also look incredibly manly doing it. A quest? Indeed. Behind me stands a vault. It opens only to those worthy. She leans her massive head downwards, close enough for you to smell the wine breath. To prove worthy, you must solve my most ancient of riddles. So old, it was handed to me when I first stepped inside this chamber millennia past. I am pretty great at questing. I'm sure you are, little one. Your companion whispers to you, you're going on an epic Sphinx quest now. Sure, why not? Not like we're on a job or anything. All things are connected by the strings. This is important, Snell. Maybe to you. No, really, it's very important to the job too. Convince me. If I solve a riddle, I get to go inside the mystery vault. He sighs. Solving the tea shop mystery is one thing, but the vault could have anything behind it. He stares at you. It could even solve the tea shop mystery. He nods slowly. You're an idiot. You'll look very foolish when you solve the mystery by opening the vault. Look, I won't stand in the way. Just don't waste too much time on it, okay? The Sphinx stares at your companion. A hero must face much adversity during his quest. She laughs quietly to herself and takes a swig of wine. So what exactly is this Sphinx quest? This is a riddle, the answer of which is not uttered in words, but revealed by action. Muscle-ridden, action riddle. She goes quiet and closes her eyes. I'll listen. Found within the arcane flare, twin tongues of flame that scorch the air. She takes a breath, revealing a wicked grin. Burrowed deep within the earth, a primal string to show your worth. Then she leans in, almost whispering those final words. Folks and gods in thronging herds, a man divine alone howls his words. Easy, you understand it immediately. Oh, I get it. You do? A symbolic clash of all three categories of spells. Could be relating to the Gate era. The Gate era? No, Cleric. That is not the answer. The answer is not something you can speak. She uses her massive claw to grab something from her pile of stuff, and tosses it to you. Oh, okay. Once you understand this riddle, return here. You can only solve it during daytime, alone. We wouldn't want anyone else accidentally figuring out this riddle, would we? She glances at your goblin companion. The goblin groans. I am not interrupting the job for that. Do it in the morning or something, before you pick me up. The Sphinx chuckles. I never sleep, so you can show up any time after sunrise, and before the tavern opens. What have you gotten yourself into? A great quest. Time to prove yourself as a worthy hero. Okay, so, where were we? Found within the arcane flare, twin tongues of flame that scorch the air. Burrowed deep within the earth, a primal string to show your worth. Folks and gods in thronging herds, a man divine alone howls his words. Okay. I don't have a clue yet. I have no idea. Can you give me a hint? A hint? You dare stand before a sphinx and ask for a hint? What, is that some kind of social taboo? She puts down her barrel of wine and leans in. You can ask questions, but no, you do not get a hint. Wow, what a cool distinction, Ulzes. Those are really different things. So I'm supposed to do something, just not answer a regular old word, right? Correct. Do the actions I'm supposed to do have anything to do with... That would be a hint. No such questions, please. Where am I supposed... No location-based questions. Has anyone else solved this riddle? Her smile fades. Only a handful of folk have ever proven worthy to enter the vault during the eons I've watched over it. I will only tell you more if you prove yourself worthy, of course. I'll have to do something with you to solve the riddle, right? No. Damn it, that was a hint, she winces. New rule, you get one hint. And she can make new rules? Man, she's drunk. That was your one hint. It is not something to do directly with me. So you can't just change the rules like that. Oh please, I can do anything I want. She sips on her wine, looking regretful. She said she's not drunk, but guess I just have to try some stuff. Trial and error, not the most silly tactic I've ever seen over the years. She shrugs and her cat shoulders sliding smoothly up and down. She looks surprisingly funny on her whole feline body thing going on. Now get back at it, little one. Isn't it lonely to hang around here for millennia? She takes a deep breath. I must remember that my perspective on time is different from a mortal's. When one views events on a scale measured in eras, a chat like this is but the fleeting blink among a heaven of stars. She speaks from a pool of knowledge deeper than your entire potential existence. So everything is going really fast for you? The Sphinx takes a moment. When a child grows, a house once thought massive will soon start to feel cramped. As time grinds on, the idea of today is no longer a canyon of possibilities. For me, that house is minuscule. What about this then? I'm going to jump side to side really quick. The Sphinx follows your movements with a stale expression. Careful, that's how you sprained your ankle last year. You kept it up for almost a full minute before you feel your legs grow sluggish. Your companion stares at you with an open mouth. How's the size of the house now? The Sphinx has an inscrutable expression on her face, watching you pant like a dog. Those were some spectacular jumps, little one. But please, calm down. Jealous? She tilts her head to the side. Fascinating. Mortality makes life beautiful. I've heard that countless times. Yet it always comes from those trapped in his clutches. I suppose perspective is everything. Hanging around a tavern can't be too lonely, right? Times have indeed changed. During what you call the arcane era, I had few visitors. These days I am inclined to enjoy life surrounding me, even with its occasional annoyances. While the average quality of my conversations might have declined, there is value in communicating with all manner of creatures. Knowledge comes in all shapes. If the world is full of imbeciles, then knowing imbeciles will let you know the world. And if that is the case, then how many of those people truly can be called stupid? But I'm not an imbecile, right? She stares at you for a long while. Of course not, little one. She says that to everyone. So there's no dude sphinx in your life then? Her expression changes subtly. I have found that when this question is put to me, despite my vast age, despite my demeanor, despite everything, the inquirer is not referring to companionship. She taps a claw. You wish to speak of reproduction, little one? Cleric, you hear a harsh whisper. Are you sure about this? Yes, I would like to hear about sphinx reproduction. Her intense glare grows more esoteric. It's time. Oh, she's into it. There are many lower races of sphinx, some more bestial than others. Apart from often serving lesser purposes, they also share a common characteristic. She frowns. They are all male. Wow, men sphinxes literally ain't shit? I'm male, nothing wrong with that. She looks you up and down. Nothing is a very strong word in this case. Each of these degenerate sphinxi then naturally crave the companionship of my kind. For a gynosphinx to lower herself to their level, it is simply unthinkable. They can't be that bad. Have you even given them a chance? You can see her extend claws out of her paws. She did not like that one. The degenerate races of sphinx were born wicked and craven. These creatures are no more similar to I than a horse to a donkey. No, not even this, as that implies some level of closeness. A horse god to a painting of a donkey. Heh, nice. This misconception of our similarity will plague me for eternity. But considering them a legitimate partner, creating more? The sphinx shakes her head. A true man is his mind. He is not violent by nature, nor is he afraid of action. He is decisive, yet tolerant. He is wise, yet still ready to learn. A true man is a riddle. They cannot be redeemed? Not as long as they live. However, there is a more civilized sphinx, apart from my own kind, of course. The glow in her eyes intensifies. She enjoys thinking of this manly creature. The Androsphinx, a beautiful, powerful servant of the gods. Few inhabit this coast of ours, yet those that do. Her voice trails off. A bitter taste spreads. There is more than history here. There are lifetimes. Are indescribably hot? She snaps her gaze back to you. They are like all men, insufferably prideful. No, we're not. Oh, you're not? Not at all. So you would describe men as humble and down to earth, as they say. Absolutely. Me personally, I'm actually extremely humble. She takes a sip from her barrel and leans her head on a paw. Hear my tale. During the early days when the gate stood open, one winter, long ago, I was tasked to guard a passage on the border of an empire you will never know. That empire's goddess sent an Androsphinx to guard the very same passage. His name was Trembelim. Our meeting was by chance and by fate. You were both sent to guard the same gate? Not the point right now. She wants you to listen, nod your head, yada yada yada. We had the same mission sent by different powers, a simple mishap. Trem was a gallant specimen. He spoke with an air of grandeur and purpose. It was easy to spend hours in his company, days, then months. Though we became increasingly physical in our relations, our conversation steadily became more stale. After years of sharing a lair, I sensed a bitter tone gnawing its way into every interaction between us. He would berate my every action. He would go on month-long hunting trips and come back empty-handed. She was upset at him for not succeeding at hunting. That's not very understanding. He would end every philosophical discussion or debate, even those we had with visitors, with snarky comments. Tell me, with whom do you believe this venom originated? Well, considering your general stance of masculinity, I'd say you. She gives you a dark frown. A stance grew out of my very true experience of living with this man. I pushed for him to tell me where this irritable act of his came from. After many long arguments, he relented. Guess what Trem confessed was the cause of his toxic behavior. It's not a sex thing, is it? She smirks. That was never an issue. They never did it? Don't picture it. Sphinxes must be highly virile creatures. Good to know. Why is that good to know? Anyway, she takes a big gulp from her wine barrel. He said I was arrogant, that I could never be wrong, that I was stubborn. Well, don't say that out loud. Okay, I'll stare at her. It took time for me to truly understand why you would say such things. Eventually I figured it out. Trem was intimidated by me. For the half-century we spent together, he never once could keep up in our debates. He could never solve my best riddles, nor even understand many of the most basic philosophical topics I brought up. I never had a problem with this at all. It was endearing to watch him struggle. I would never have assumed such a magnificent man would succumb to the lowest of sins, pride. Trem could not stand to be outmatched, at least not in the long run. So we parted ways as amicably as could be given the circumstances. That was my first mission here on this Jor's realm. Well, I'm gonna say you should have let him win every once in a while. Perhaps I should have. In my mind, I assumed, wrongly so, that I would not be forced to treat the great Andro-Sphinx of Uram like a mewling infant. I have a feeling you and Tremblim would get along quite nicely. Are you annoyed at me? She scoffs. I tire of this conversation, little one. It seems as though men, in mortal or immortal form, share but the same spiritual veins. Oh well. Well, we're so far down this path, there's no digging our way out the hole, so we just gotta keep going. You're a bitter man-hater. I'll accept that title. Now, will you leave me with my wine, or do you have more topics which you wish to interrogate me? Is this lair your tavern, or your lair a tavern? He lifts the barrel to her lips and holds it there for a moment. Eventually, she lowers it and says, That indeed is a riddle worth pondering. Can I ask why? Why what? Why a tavern? I was convinced. She glances at the pile of wine by her side. It was not a battle quickly won, however. Rickspiter worked tirelessly for many an evening to argue her point. Eventually, and completing quite a few quests on my behalf, I let her rent out part of my lair, but only for a century. Do you like the hustle and bustle in here? I'm content for now. Has anyone tried to fight you? Yes, alcohol tends to lower risk assessment capabilities among mortals, which sometimes ends with violence. Almost from a man, strangely enough. I do wonder why. Not always. You've seen some feisty women during your street watch days. You a big drinker? I partake. It does little to affect me, but the taste is lovely. You've never seen her sober, so who knows if it's true. Must cost a lot to get you all this wine. No, Rickspiter procures it all for me. Such a lovely river wine. He takes another sip. I've grown to enjoy the taste. Nice to see you enjoying your tavern lair. I've got other questions. The Sphinx drinks again. What do you know about the tea shop? It startled me, which is not an easy thing to do. I'd imagine you're quite close to it. Yes, an explosion like that has not been felt in this place for decades at least. Well, obviously I'm going to stay quiet for a few seconds and jump towards her and yell, Boo! Ah, by the gods, you scared me, little one. She speaks to you like you're a child, which is understandable. You're so funny, little one. I'm going to giggle and feel proud. Yes, it reminded me of our darkness, what your people call the Fade era. It's a time just before I was tasked with guarding this vault, and then the Molluska Tulincatl often bargained with me for divine knowledge and assistance. I liked those snails, they were good company. I was saddened when their city melted under Isuth's fire. The crackling of those flames, the terrible force that ruined everything in its path. Flames of many colors. Memories of beasts in the days of Jor. Those thoughts stirred in me when I felt that explosion. Old magic. You been here since the Fade era? Yes, there were some excursions early on, but yes, a bit over a millennia ago. That's awesome. Thank you? Snails? She nods. They built the first city here, from what I know. You've walked their streets, little one. These are my streets, not theirs. I suppose that's how inheritance works. Do you think it was dragon fire that caused the explosion? She scoffs. No, I do not. It was much too concentrated of a blast. Besides, a dragon large enough to cause such destruction would also surely not be capable of sneaking away without a single witness. Could someone have used fireball to cause the explosion? The Sphinx shrugs. I've seen more than a fair share of those in my time. Seems like everyone uses it. Third level fireball would not come close to that power. What about a higher level fireball? She shrugs. It would have to be very high. So, who knows, but I'm sure you'll figure it out. Tell me about Isuth. I'd prefer not. His terrible reign is a topic left out of polite conversation. Whenever you see the flaming mounds upon the burned coast lit up in smoke and cinder, you will know his will has not gone away. Not for a moment. Flames of many colours? Blue, yellow and purple. It said if you can see the purple, it'll be the last thing you do. That's all for now, thank you. You're welcome. What are you voting in the election? I'm not. What? Why? She shakes her head. I cannot leave to vote, I'm afraid. Even if it was my business to leave an imprint on the affairs of mortals. If you could leave, who would you vote? Oh, I don't know. She points a claw at you. What would you have me vote for if you were in my shoes? The nationalists. They will uphold Earth's stability in the long run. Ah, yes. The servants of a dead god will surely be the best choice to safeguard the future. She gives you a knowing smile. You can't leave here even for a minute or two? I could, but that would break my divine quest. Understandable, you cannot do that, ever. I would not have expected a mortal to understand. Interesting. Okay, good to know. What's that door behind you? Nothing, but it's clearly something. How perceptive of you, little one. She holds up a paw as if presenting a prize. Behind me lays but one divine vault of many. She lowers her head slightly in a tiny bow. I am its protector. It's really not more complicated than that. Alright. Alright, I think it's time. You're a very impressive creature. You know that? Attempting to flirt. She taps her claws. Where are you going with this, little one? Yeah, this might be a bad idea. A true man climbs the tallest mountain he can find. No lesser challenge. No lesser man. Your goblin companion kicks you in the shin. You want to get mazed? He hisses at you. That's how you get mazed. The goblin is referring to the concept of being magically transported into an endless prison, which is technically something a gynosphinx would be capable of, just so you know. So that currently is impossible. Well, not true. We have 2 dice rolls and we would have to get a 20. Never mind, never mind. Alright, little one. I'll assume you simply coughed very loudly. Yeah, but like, obviously we're doing it. I just wanted to save first. Woo the beast. Nat 20! It's a success! Holy! All those bad rolls were leading to one good roll. There you are, you've got an opening. Time to swoop in with a smooth line. The Sphinx, patient as ever, stares at you. Oh no. Oh wow, we've got a lot of things here. I've never seen a Sphinx so wonderfully pretty. O guardian of the vault, you cannot have enraptured me via my You have enraptured me via my senses. I cannot see a future without your presence in my life. Your skill with words puts mine to shame, clearly. How can I attempt to communicate to you how strongly I feel for you, but you must instead settle for knowing the depth of my feeling. I find you a beautiful Sphinx, and I'd be honoured to have you in my life, or... Oh boy, this here Sphinx. I do love me a Sphinx. I do want to give my life in service to a sphinx. That'd be real neato. Do a little jig. Alright, I've thought about it for a second. Oh boy, this here sphinx. I do love me a sphinx. I do want to give my life in service to a sphinx. That'd be real neato. After listening to your speech, the sphinx looks at you bug-eyed. Sphinxes do not often become bug-eyed. As does Snell. As does Meek. As does every other patron in the tavern who overheard you. They are all shocked at your word-crafting expertise. No one formulates lines better than you. No one. No one. Nope, no one. But why does she look so shocked? Who knows and who cares? They may act like they're embarrassed, but they envy you in this moment. They don't have the confidence. Little one. Finally, the Sphinx speaks, her tone calm and yet shaky. She was so moved by your words, she has tears in her eyes. That was a wonderful speech. I appreciate you as well. However, as I'm sure you're aware, I cannot leave this chamber. So I would not be able to stay in your life forever. So unfortunately, I'll have to pass on your proclamation. No! I hope that's all right. It can't be. I'm sorry, little one. Damn the gods! Damn it all to hells! You'll find someone else. She leans in and brings her massive paw over your head. Then she pats the top of your helm. Carefully. There, there. No crying. Just receive the pats. Well, she says and starts sipping on her barrel again. You look like you need a drink. I was saving it for later, but I think you'll be in more need of this pick-me-up. Anything else you wanted? Your goblin companion lets out a comically audible phew. I'll be going now. Thank you, Great Sphinx. Well, we did successfully seduce this Sphinx, sort of. Grants minor intelligence increase for a week. For a week? Wow, that's really good. Okay, well, obviously we're gonna save and then use it. Consume. Our intelligence is just increased by 1 forever. Alright, that's cool. What's this? An old well. Okay. You approach the old well. It's dry. It's very dry. Very, very deep. Look down the well. You see only darkness. Is this a wishing well? No. I wish I was the greatest knight in all of Ascani. Nothing happens. Won't you look at that? That must mean you're already the greatest knight, right? Truth! The goblin speaks truth. He's making fun of you. Jump. Excuse you? You're doing what exactly? I'm jumping down the well? You say that as if it's somehow a good idea? Yeah? Snell grabs you. No! As a bad cleric. He wrestles you back, away from the deep, deep hole. But Snell, I wanted to jump down. Not on my watch. If you want to die from rapid fucking dungeon dissension, do it on your own time, asshole. Well, I will. I will come back here and jump down, and you'll be very sad you didn't get to see it. Right, time to leave. Wait, what's this? A donation plate? There's a small plate with a fair bit of crowns scattered about the surface. The goblin glances at you as you approach the donation bowl. I want to donate crowns here. You do? How much, though? Alms are important to help those in need. It is honourable to give. I shall give you 10 crowns. Place a handful of crowns into the bowl. A good amount. Oh, thanks, Cleric. I will now let her play. The main exit. Wait, so what was the other exit I had? What the heck? This is the main exit? Where's this? The city below the city? How can this be the main exit? Oh, okay. Where does this go? Path up to Tolstad, but where? I've never been here before. This must be deeper into the city below, I guess? Oh, we've never been here before. Almost intact and endlessly rising pillar is the centerpiece of Norvik. The pillar of Jor stands before you. It whispers to you unintelligibly. Touch the wondrous pillar. You place your hand upon the smooth surface. The whisper gets louder. It says something to you, something weird. No, wait. It's a conversation, one you don't take part in. Guess you could try and join in. I have advantage and disadvantage, which will probably counter each other. Okay, I think we're okay. That's a pass. Hello? The goblin perks up. Ah, not me, sorry. The pillar vibrates. Hello? The whisper lies inside of you, or something. It says, he is here. Who is he? Or who is here? It says divinity. It says death. It says necrocrat. What? The voice ends. Your hand is repelled from the surface. Ouch. Weird. You understand plainly there is more to this pillar you need to investigate. In time and further below. Alright, I'll finish up here then. It's fine. Whatever. Where the hell am I? Am I in the path to Waterdeep? There should be a glowy thing over here if I am, right? There was a glowy thing down there previously, maybe. Yeah, I must be on the path to Waterdeep. I wanted to go to Waterdeep. Let's go to Waterdeep. I know we haven't explored here yet, but I did want to go to Waterdeep tonight, and that's the only thing I really have on my list tonight. So let's do that now. Or Water Lane, sorry. And then we can head to the guardhouse and sleep. Or not sleep, but see whether we need to sleep. It says, Es Yellen and Sons. Is this where I needed to go? You approach the door. Bookbinder, you got business here? Of course, I have a deep love for books now. It's fun. Didn't expect that, considering everything. I'm not a big reader myself, but I indulge occasionally. He sounds surprised, but it's just banter. You can handle it. You can read? Fuck off. He cracks a smile. Well, maybe we shouldn't stand out here talking in front of a shop. You knocking or are we leaving? I'll knock. Within seconds of the knock, the slit in the door slides open. You see, beyond you see a pair of yellow eyes glaring at you. Hey-oh. Bird. Is this pest control? The eyes quickly tilt to the left. In a sense. The eyes push closer to the slit in the door. As they do, a bush of grey feathers pokes out. A bird folk. Cleric? Yeah, duh. The birdman behind the door ruffles his feathers. Shen Yellen is my name. If you are not pest control, I need nothing from you. Please leave. I have a ruined prayer book. Can you fix it? Prayer book? Yes, I've seen quite a few. Drop inside. check a look. Drop in. Yes, horrible. Saltwater, left swollen. You could have avoided the worst of this if the drying process had been handled better. I'll rebind this foul mess for you. How much will it cost? We will see. Depends on the process. I will need guidance on the direction of the rebinding. The spells inside are lost. However, the style and formatting can be saved. Using my skills, I can aim at something from the towers, which would be most similar to the original work. I could also focus on rebinding it into the style of a druidic ledger, or perhaps even a grimoire of the dark and forbidden arts. Oh, right. I like how it just tells you this is what you get from it, which is actually pretty good. Forbidden magic, isn't that illegal, hence the name? I'm a registered spellcaster in your city. He lets out an annoyed bird sound. That gives me the right to handle any magical components and tools, no matter the outcome, as long as I do not cast it myself. That is your law written. Sounds like that could be abused. It does it not? You know druidic stuff? I have many customers, including the various druids of the city. They have an aversion to modern practices themselves, hence my services are well appreciated. Have you worked on many clerical tools? Yes. I'm not an official merchant of the towers, but many come to me for better prices and better service, despite how little most clerics enjoy working with my kin. Yes, most clerics are quite hateful against non-humans after all. Actually, you know what? I'm going to say that is the way of the world. We're not going to acknowledge it. We're just going to say, well, that's the way things are. Yes. Now, make a choice. Okay, so we have two separate things here. The first is if I say forbidden magic, we get a charisma upgrade, which is good gameplay-wise. However, we are a lawful cleric. which means that the only option is this one, which is an intelligence upgrade. Now, do we need an intelligence upgrade? No. However, it is the only lawful option. I'll remake it. Well, I guess we could go druidic, but we're not going to do that. That's a wisdom upgrade. Remake it as well as you can with the original intention in mind. That I will do. Return tomorrow, not while the sun rises. I'm either resting or working intently during those hours. Anything else you want, or will you leave me to work? You want to go drink at the tavern later? No. So stern. Good, he should keep working. That is honorable. Are you a scholar? Oh. You are interested in the arts? I'd love to hear more about you, and Alkin in Norvik is not so common. I was trained in the knowledge back in the Three Wings. I know many things. But no time to talk or share. Busy. If you want scholarly teachings, go speak with my neighbor, upstairs neighbor. That gnome never stops talking. Who? Just go upstairs. His door is always open. Why do you need help from the Pest Control Guild? Rats. Oh. They're awful. Keep spawning out of the sewer pipes. Yeah, the PCG should really take care of that. Yes. Lets out an angry bird noise. But that bastard guild leader, Torlim Slip, keeps telling me that they don't have time. No time? They have dozens of teams running around the city. No time? I've heard the big problem is that they cannot get anyone to do pest control missions at 1-star levels. The PCG has a ranking system based on the danger of any particular pest they handle. Of course, rats would be a 1-star problem. Ah, the halfways. We haven't relied on the PCG for years. They just don't have the time for anything under a 2-star danger ranking. Halfway, short for HWBT, the Halfway Bridge Tribe. It is very annoying. I have looked into it, and the problem is, the pest control teams that join the guild only take on 1-star missions for a couple of weeks. Then they quickly start focusing only on the higher paying tasks, and all the actual normal pests keep on spreading throughout the city. It's a ridiculously idiotic system. So while all the mimics and monsters keep getting slayed, nothing is done about these darn rats. Your scarf nudges up against your left ear and whispers, Meek think people not dungeon dislike mimic. Meek kinda get it, but still not fun to hear. The problem is it's too privatized. If the city held full control of all pest control, then even the less valuable missions would be handled. Strength? I hate that I agree with you that if you privatize all of the boring stuff, then it's going to cause issues. I hate that I agree that this is something that we need to sort, but not now. Obviously. Oh dear. The bird takes a few deep breaths after his rant. Worst part, my nephew has a team himself. The White Doves they're called. And I've tried sending messages to him also, but he just says the same thing. Too busy, too busy. I could join the Pest Control Guild. The old man scoffs. Sure, then you go and take on all the big and scary monsters that crawl up into the city, ignoring all the actual pests just to get a payday. No way, I'd work my ass off trudging through the sewers catching rats for barely nothing pair, all for the satisfaction of a hard day's work. Really? Yes, I'm that good of a guy. Well, if everyone was like you, the city would be a better place. Tell me more about your nephew. He calls himself Valyrian Windrider. That is the Norvikian way of saying his name. He's also active within the Freestrider party if you're interested in throwing a vote for one of my fellow Alkin. He works with one of those filthy Yobus, which I'm not happy about. Oh, and a halfling. A cleric, in fact, of the Lady Fair Church. That's interesting, thank you. Actually, you know what? I've heard of that church over in Housing, right? That's the one. I think they're concerned with an orphanage. I could take a look at it. It does sound like a quest. If you do, I'd be very happy. The rats do seem to come from the sewers connected with the city below. Well, good luck with that. Thank you. You finished with my prayer book yet? The Albie on the door goes silent for a few seconds, his yellow eyes gazing at you. You... Bedan. Do you suffer from memory loss? Maybe in an esoteric sense, but no. The owl sighs. Come back tomorrow and consider seeing a professional for your erratic behavior. Thank you for your time. Okay. Well, that was useful. Street sign. Upper Water Lane View. Democratic propaganda. Okay. E.T. Scani Reed's Trading Company. Bin is making a sound a strange sound. How strange? With fareth with maltadeg with. The trash inside this bin speaks to you. Don't fall for it. This is some type of scam, surely, getting you to root around in the trash. Snell? He gives you a nonchalant half shrug. It's Waterlane. There's always something going on here. I'll open it up. As you lift it aside, you immediately see something moving in the pile of shredded documents and old scraps of food. A pair of legs. Some orth? What is that? Suddenly jumping out of the pile with a poof of mouldy dust is a pine cone. A pine cone with with limbs. Warren. It hands you some leaves while doing a strange and seemingly improvisational dance upon this trash. Did you just hand me trash? Oh wait, I don't comprehend languages. Before you're able to do anything about it, the little creature just poofs away. Disgusting little creature. As it fades, you see only trash. I've heard about those things, never seen them though. What do you know about them? Just what I read in the paper, and what Nissan goes on about. They're called Vatar, or something. The Lamplighters Guild had a public spat with them a couple months back. He points to the lamps behind you. Apparently they messed with the everlasting lights. That's not allowed, the city needs those lights. Sure, and guess who got all the complaints? I get why they were mad, but I think they solved everything once the PCG got involved. And they're supposed to be all over the garden too. Not that I've ever seen one. Anyhow, they clearly seem to like you. Let's keep it like that. Alright. Cool, so I think this is where I need to go for my quest. But which quest I need to go here for, I cannot remember. Oh, we've got one for our democracy stuff. Presumably because I've done enough nationalist stuff. Alright, let's take root. Hey! You've been doing great work out there. I'm assuming this is about the asking people about the election thing? Hells yeah. You know what that makes you? A herald. A democratic herald. Doesn't that sound nice? But I hate democracy. Wow. I can't believe you said that. Shrug internally. Look. This is about what the new world is, this is what the new world is all about. People talking to each other, sharing ideas, debating, listening. Every conversation is a little spark of democracy igniting. And you're fanning those flames. So here's the thing, all that talking is energizing. When you engage with people about what matters, when you get them thinking, discussing, caring, it fills you up. Makes you feel alive. Tell me more about Democrat... Wait, don't I get any other choices? Good, great question. In this case, you're just too aware of the fact that you have absolutely no chance of ever subverting, changing, / affecting this particular democratic process. And you obviously can't stop yourself from spreading the word, no matter what the word is. So here's the thing, all that talking is energizing. When you engage with people about what matters, when you get them thinking, discussing, caring, it fills you up. It makes you feel alive. Tell me more about the Democratic Herald. Every time you ask someone what they're voting for, you feel a surge of vitality. It's excitement in democracy in action. You regain 1d4 hit points every time you ask them what they're voting for in the election. So here's the thing, all that talking is energizing. Yeah, we've done that. I'm ready. That's the spirit. I have four feats now. Welcome to the new world, Herald. And I leveled up off of it. Nice. Level up. We get a 3rd level spell slot. That's huge, because that's Speak to Dead. Now, do I know how to speak to dead? No, but I have a 3rd level spell slot. Well, this is easy. We put a point into strength. Done. Easy. Continually put points into strength. So there's that one locked in. So where is it? Novikian Resistance. You only steal a document from the Free Strider. So this must be the building. Okay, in that case, I am going to end the episode here. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.